Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavet Movies. My name is John. In this video is going to be my roundup on what video nasties I bought this year so far. So back in December last year, I decided to set myself a bit of a task to see if I could get as many video nasties as I could this year. So in the first 3 months of this year, I've got 12 titles. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank them on this video. What I've decided to do, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've taken into consideration the packaging, transfers and the movie. And what I've done is, with the movie, I've said, right, what's the packaging like? Is it my favourite? Is it my least favourite? I've done the same with the transfers. I've looked at all of these films again. So I've checked out all these movies again on my new TV. And it's been a revelation with some of the titles on here. And it's been great to see them on this new bigger screen with added colours and black levels. So if a movie came first in packaging, I would score 12 points. And if it came last, I would score 1 point. So this is what I've done. I've put these movies, and then I've done the same with the transfers and the movie itself, how I enjoy the movie. And remember, this is just my personal choice. And what I did was I let a bit of mathematics do the ranking for me. Do I agree with this ranking? Well, it remains to be seen. So I'll go through them in reverse order, and hopefully this is like a bit of a new twist on a ranking video. So coming in at number 12 is Mountain of the Cannibal God. Now this movie here is it's quite a nasty film, I've got to say. There's a lot of animal cruelty in here. There's some animal stuff which is not cruelty, but it kind of is. It's hard to explain without seeing what's on it. It really is quite a sickening movie in that sense. I do think the movie is a lot better than I thought it was when I watched it way back when. I didn't like it at all. This time around, I did quite like it. If you take the animal stuff out, it's a rather enjoyable movie. It's got some big stars in it doing some crazy things. It's quite unique in that way that you think that these big stars wouldn't have ever said yes to half the things that they do in this movie, and it doesn't look like it got any stunt doubles in as well. So in that respect, it's quite an interesting movie to watch, but I'm glad I've seen it, and I don't think I need to revisit this anytime soon. So at number 12, that's Mountain of the Cannibal God. At number 11 is Don't Look in the Basement. Now, funny enough, I really enjoy this movie. It would have been one of the ones that I would have put high on the list for ones that I enjoy, but obviously it's let itself down. The transfer is absolutely terrible on here. It is fully uncut, and the packaging, yeah, it's pretty much looks like a bootleg. But anyway, I really want this to come out in a good Blu-ray, one in the UK Blu-ray, like 88 Arrow. They could do a really good version of this. This film is a really good watch, actually, and I do think that if you can track it down, it's one of the ones where you probably not see any of it in a good version. The road is really cheap, really chatty, but it is what it is at this point. I do know that I had to get it just to check it out because it's one of the ones that I wanted to see. Hadn't seen it at all, because a lot of these films I have seen before, but some I haven't. And this is one of the ones that I didn't expect anything from, but it delivered on every level. It's a really good watch, and it's one that it's got quite a lot of twists and turns for a sort of low budget movie that really shouldn't be as good as it is. Yes, the quality does let it down, but I think that if it was done in the best way it could, I mean, some of the ones that are coming out these days, they previously said that they had lost all the negatives and they couldn't do anything with them. But there's a lot of them coming out that look absolutely stunning. In this case, I don't agree with the mass. I think they should have been a lot higher up. But obviously the packaging and the quality of the print let it down. So at number 11, that's Don't Look in the Basement. At number 10 is Extra. Now I thought this movie was much higher up on the list. I thought it was in the section 1 video nasty. It's actually in the section 3 video nasty. Quite surprised about that, because it's got some extreme moments in here. I can really understand why it fell foul of the censors. There's a lot of things going on there, a bit like, wow, really. The print on here it's got a lovely print. A second sight as well. I think if this had been the second sight special edition, this would have been much higher up in the list. But unfortunately, because it's like a bit of a bare bones cover in that, although it is reversible, it's kind of let it down a bit in the scoring. But I do like all these movies, don't get us wrong. There's a couple in here like Mountain of the Prisoner God, and another one that I'm not really too fond on, but I won't watch that much. But most of these ones have got a lot of rewatchability, and Extra being one of them. So it's a bit of a funny one to put like low on the list, because from here on I think that all of them do, on the most part, have a really good presentation. So number 10, that's Extra. So number 9, and surprisingly low on the list you might think, is Gestapo's Last Orgy. Now, I can't fault this release. It does look spectacular. It's got an amazing release. It's fully uncut. This is the US version, which is region free. So 88 had to release this in the States because it couldn't get it past the UK censors. I can understand why as well. There's talking about rewatchability, this film doesn't really have it for me. I do appreciate what it is. It does look spectacular. But there's a few scenes in here which I'm thinking, wow, this is just a bit too much for me. The dinner scene being the one that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. There's a lot of scenes in here when it's a lot of like torture and that you think, well, why are people just getting tortured? It seems as if it's one of those ones where it's done for just pure exploitation. You could say this is probably the most exploitational movie on this list so far. It's a tough watch. It's a one when I watched it, I did kind of feel a bit kind of uneasy watching it, which I don't get uneasy like ever when I watch movies. Sometimes you feel like you're saying, should I really be watching this? And that's not a feeling you get many times on these video nasties. So yeah, so this one, like I say, it's great. Don't get us wrong. I do recommend you getting it, but you've got to know what you're getting for it. And to me, rewatchability let the score down in this movie, and it's just a shame that it didn't have a bit more of the sort of fun factor that you get more in these sort of Nazi exploitation movies. You can watch them because of that silly. This movie isn't silly at all. It's quite serious, and it's seriously nasty as well. So number 9, that's Gestapo's Last Orgy. So coming in at number 8 is Delirium. This has been released by 88 Films, and they've done a spectacular job. The thing that let this one down is, because I do like this movie a lot, is the quality of the print. Actually, when I put it on my new TV, the print on here looks very grainy. It did look a bit grainy before and a bit sort of not VHS, like DVD quality. I understand that they can't get their hands on anything else apart from what they've got here. But the actual grain is quite noisy in this this film. Unfortunately, but it doesn't take anything away from the film. I do know that this movie is very low budget and very grindhousey. So I'm prepared to take that in the chin. Some of these movies I don't mind if they look like trash, because they kind of, that adds to the appeal to them, strangely enough. But I did have a great time in this movie, and I do urge anybody who's thinking about getting these banned video nasties, previously banned video nasties from 88, I think you should just go ahead and get the whole lot for me. I know it sounds a bit mad because some of these might be atrocious, but I personally think that they're going to do that much of a good version with them that it can kind of, its shortcomings, it'll kind of make up for its shortcomings. But in this case, I had a great time with it. Yes, it is a preposterous movie, but I really enjoyed it for what it is. So that's at number 8, that's Delirium. At number 7 is Phantasm. Now this is the double pack that I got of John Hall. He exported it from the US, and it's region free as well. And this looks, and actually there's a 4K remaster on Phantasm 2. So and the 4K remaster on Phantasm 2 looks unreal. It's one of the best Blu-rays I've seen. Now the Blu-ray, the remastered but not a 4K remaster of Phantasm, looks absolutely brilliant as well. This one here is the best for me you'll ever see. I haven't seen the Arrow version yet. I can't imagine the Arrow one to be as good as this, because it just looks absolutely crystal clear. Now this movie is from 1979. You would imagine that it would have some kind of artifacts in it and it wouldn't actually present that well, but they've done a great job on here. It's from Wellgo USA, which is a strange, like they do like more or less kung fu stuff. So it's strange that they're doing horror, which is more than welcomed actually. And I'll have a lot more of this if they do a good job as they've done on this release. I'll have a lot more stuff from them. But I do like the movie itself. But this is by far for me, because the last time I had it was on DVD, and this one here is a massive upgrade from that. So at number 7, that's Phantasm. So at number 6 is House on the Edge of the Park. Now this is released by Severin, and they've done a spectacular release on here. This slipcase is just, I've never seen anything like it. It's just amazing. So what I'm doing with this movie is I'm taking into consideration that the disc on here is actually faulty. What it is the black levels are they're not where they should be, and you can really tell mine, especially on this new TV, the black levels are kind of really grey. It does stand out like a sore thumb. Now what John Hall, my friend John Hall, is doing for me, he has imported, or he has got the corrected discs. He's actually got them. I'm going to get them off him the next time he comes around. So it's great to have the corrected discs. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm thinking that it does look really good. It's just the dark levels on here just don't work for me. So what I've done is I've sort of like made it as if it was the dark levels were okay, and I put that in the scores. But the movie itself is quite a good movie. I want to talk about it a bit more, but I don't really want to talk about it until I've watched it fully, because I've watched half of it and I was enjoying it, but I thought the black levels weren't doing it for me, so I kind of took it off, and I will watch it fully and give a proper review on it when I've actually seen this in the full version, the full corrected version. So at number 6, that's House on the Edge of the Park. At number 5 is a 4K. It's the Toolbox Murders. Now this is released by Blue Underground. Now bearing in mind this is a 16mm print, so it's not going to look that good, but it does look good for what it is. Definitely the best version of this movie. Now as well, they've released Maniac. That was a 16mm print, and to be honest, That looked the best it's ever looked, and this has looked the best it's ever looked. The only problem is with some of these movies, the source print does let it down a little bit, but you can't do anything about it. That's the way it was. You can't make it look any better than it is, and they have done a spectacular colours on here. I've never seen anything like it. The black levels as well are really amazing. This was good when I watched it on my other telly, but this sort of bumped it up that next level. And something I've been messing around with the colour timing on my TV, and I've got it to a point where I think I'm correct with it. I think I was watching one that was a bit oversaturated, so I took it down a notch, and it's starting to look like more like realistic, but just vibrant as anything. So this is a 4K. I know you think a 4K would be right at the top, but I'm not taking anything away from it. It's just that the source material just let it down a little bit. So at number 5, that's the Toolbox Murders. So number 4 is Night of the Demon. Now this is a spectacular release. I think 88 have just knocked it out of the park with this. If you can get the slipcover or the slip box, you really need to get it. It's the quality of it is just unbelievable. Now this movie here has always looked like trash, and 88 have found some new elements and they've remastered it. I think with Severin, and it looks sensational. This is the best it's ever looked, probably the best it's ever going to look. And I was so pleased that they've got this new master, so they could bring this film to life. This film does look spectacular with the HDR in it as well that I'm putting through on me when I put it in my 4K player. I know it hasn't got HDR built into it, but it kind of does put the colours in here, especially when they're wearing like the tents covering, and also the jackets that they're wearing, the yellows and reds, really come to life. And I think this movie is such a hidden gem. I think it's hidden gem because it's just been not available that much, and also it's been available in such a low quality that nobody's ever really sort of taken it seriously or seen it for what it was. But on this release, you can really see it for like what they planned. Yes, it has got some problems, but in all, it's one of the most enjoyable video nasties out there. So that's at number 4. That's Night of the Demon. So number 3 is Don't Go in the House. This is released by Arrow on this sort of like retro feel to it. It's got this the original slipcover on, which is like a massive plus for me. I don't care what the slipcover looked like on the original releases of these movies. If they had them on, it would like be an instant box tick for me. I think that's the best way you can do these movies. That's got a lovely reversible art there as well. This is highly limited, and it's one of the ones where if you ever see them doing these again, and you get the heads up that they're going to do this type of version with a video nasty in the future, Arrow, do pounce on it, because this sold out quite quickly and it's going for silly money on eBay. Of course it is. So to avoid that, try and get it like pre-order it. I do think that you need to do that with these type of things, because once the word gets out on them, they just go like hotcakes. So yeah, so one of those movies which it's funny because if I had to sort of rank this as like favourite movies, I don't think it would be this high on the list, but it had the packaging just sort of sold it. It's got this extra disc in, which has got this sort of VHS quality or VHS trip down memory lane, which is quite a welcome addition. I hope they do that, and if they do this on more titles, I hope they do that in every version, because I think that that's a winner for me if I ever want to revisit the VHS days. So at number 3, that's Don't Go in the House. So like I say, I've graded these all on what I thought of the movie, what I think of the transfer, what I think of the packaging. I put them all together, done all the scores, and the mathematics is spoken for me. And it's so what is it picked for number 2? Number 2 is Cannibal Man. Now you know how much I really think this movie is just spectacular. I can't wait to watch this on my new telly. That'll be the 3rd time I've watched it in as many weeks. Wow. So that shows you how much love I've got for this movie. Yes, it is uncut on Amazon Prime for free if you want to watch it. I think that it is the extended cut as well. So in the extended cut for me is the best cut of the movie. It's got them extra little scenes in, and you'll see them what they are because they're in sort of Spanish language, and it makes this movie just come alive that little bit more, because you hear a little bit more about the backstory of this Marco, who is the Cannibal Man. I can't speak highly enough about this movie. I do urge anybody who can get their hands on it to get the Severin release, because it is spectacular. Also, I said it before, I do think that 88 might try to get this one out, because it's like a Severin release, so I really hope that that would be the case. And this is just all kinds of the way that this thing should be released. I think that this slipcase is amazing. I think they all want to have really excellent slipcases on these movies. I think that unfortunately these days slipcases seem to be taking a bit of a backwards step. I know that Sony don't seem to be releasing slipcases anymore, which seems to be a travesty. They don't put the prices down though. That's the thing I'll say about that. People say, well, it's only a slipcase. Say, well, it's only a slipcase. Then take a couple of quid off then if they're trying to save themselves a bit of money or a bit less of a sort of production value. But anyway, so I think 90% of these movies are highly recommended. You get a really good time with them, but you know how much I like this movie. So at number 2, that's Cannibal Man. So that means there can be only one. So my top video nasty in the first 3 months of this year that I've bought goes to Flesh for Frankenstein. Now, this is just an unreal package. I mean, it obviously come top in the packaging, it come top in the transfer, and it come third in what movies I like. This has got it all. Now, the thing is with this box is like one of those amazing boxes. So you've got all that going, and you've got some embossing, you've got some spot glossing as well. You've got nothing on the spine, but I like the fact that it's just like that. And if people look at it, they might think, "Oh, what's that movie?" But you get 2 amazing slip covers on here, or should I say, like the card as well, like the thick. And you get also with this, you get embossing, you get spot glossing, you get double, you get that like more art as well. We dare you to see Flesh for Frankenstein, and you do get as well. Yeah, you get original art in here, which is amazing. You also get a 3D version with another amazing slipcover, like this heavy card slipcover, which I love. I think I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for a long time. Spot glossing is there, and you also get another artwork on there. You get your Flesh for Frankenstein glasses in here. You get disc art. There's nothing that you could say that. So this set's got everything for me, and it's got like disc art as well, 3D. It's got loads of extras. So for me, you cannot go wrong with this. This motor, it just wins on every level. So the maths have spoken. That's the number 1 choice. That's Flesh for Frankenstein. But if you put mathematics to one side for a minute, what would be my number 1 if I was picking this one just from what I would like on a simple thing and just saying what's my favourite one to what's my least favourite one? The number 1 would have been, of course, Cannibal Man. I bet you're not surprised about that. But this is the way I've done it, just to try and make it a little bit more different in my ranking. But for me, this is the one I've enjoyed the most. Plus, I've seen it twice and I want to watch it a 3rd time. So hope you've enjoyed this different video. Thanks for watching. You take care, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.